Hey traders, this is Jeff from ZenTrader.ca with the market update. I may even have another market update later on in the weekend since this is a long weekend. But I just got some charts together. I wanted to go over my thoughts for the markets this week. Don't overthink this market. I know a lot of traders were bored with the market action this week. I was too. I was about ready to call it a day, 4 hours into the trading, or 3 hours into yesterday's trading session, because the writing on the wall pretty much seemed like the gap up was going to be sold. It was, but I don't view that as bearish action. Let's look at the index charts for the Nasdaq and the Dow. You can see here. This just looks to be consolidation. Consolidation from the August lows. To me, this is a market that's just digesting these gains, and with earnings starting next week, a lot of the big guys maybe don't want to commit a whole lot of money right now into the markets, but I don't see a lot of selling either. This is a 60-minute chart. This is a 15-minute chart. I'm sorry, this is a 30-minute chart. And you can see basically, this was a little bit of a resistance. We gapped up over it and just sold off, but we did find some support here. This seems to be a significant area where the Nasdaq ran into problems here, ran into problems, and then finally broke through. But it pulled back. It's a little bit below that, but it's still, there are still higher lows and higher highs. RSI, I'd like to see this a little more. Into the high 70s, early 80s range, but so far nothing looks like a warning sign. And the Dow's even stronger. You can see that there was a range here. We broke out of it. And again, I'm not trying to really read too much into this chart. Did we hit a new high? Yeah, we did. That's good. The fact that we sold off, yeah, but I think this does two things. I think number one, it prevents the bulls from getting too overconfident, and it kind of throws a bone to the bears. Like, okay, maybe this is it. So the people that were shorting, I just don't want to. If I was bearish on the markets and the markets kept going up, and it just seemed like every little sell-off that happened, it's like, okay, now the market's going to sell off, and then it doesn't, and then it goes up more, and then it has a little bit of an intraday correction. Okay, and then they're like, okay, now this is going to be the sell-off. This is the double top that's going to wreck the markets. And I mean, it very well could, but at the same time, what's the chart telling you? This is a 15-minute chart. I mean, this in itself almost looks like a cup with a handle. So when there's bullish chart patterns out there, it's just not time to be a bear. And this is a daily chart, and look at how perfect the last full moon bottom was. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And so yeah, we are running into some resistance here. This is something to be aware of, in my opinion. It's not something to trade off of just yet. Like, my positions that I had, I was flat for the day, so I view that on Friday. I view that as a win. I actually had a pretty decent week, and I think my portfolio was up 3% this week, and it was and the markets didn't do a whole lot. I think it's a little bit of a stock picker's market. The TSX is in a bullish upward channel. This looks good. The last thing I want to show you is the tick, which is not overbought. It's kind of just middle of the road, which is kind of what you would expect after a week like this. I just want to switch gears and talk about gold. Now, gold is in a little bit of a bearish pattern, I guess, a bearish topping pattern, you can call this megaphone pattern, where there's getting to be quite a bit of negative resistance on the RSI, and it continues to make higher highs. So that's bullish. And again, don't micromanage it, but just be aware of this pattern. And if for some reason next week it busts through with authority, well, if I was in gold, I would probably be taking a little bit off the table, just because I've seen this pattern play out time and time again, where eventually there's going to be a spark and it's going to sell off. It's going to spark a sell-off,